I'm getting a lot of reps now.
And now you're welcoming a new sister-in-law.
That's right.
That's
Big
pretty
news.
big.
New news. Big news.
What makes you so happy about that? Because I was watching, obviously, one of the most explosive podcast episodes in podcast history on New Heights.
Mm-hmm.
But as Taylor's talking about Travis, it's clipped everywhere. The Swifties love it. Everybody loves it. It seems like you're getting...
When I first heard whispers about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce heading for the altar, I couldn't help but laugh at the way their love story keeps playing out like some epic crossover between the NFL playoffs and the Grammy Awards. Everywhere you look, it feels like their relationship is leveling up, and each new chapter sends the internet into another frenzy. Rhode Island renovations, seaside mansions, rumors of bachelor parties, cryptic jewelry messages, and even talk of a Super Bowl halftime show. It's like watching a romance unfold on a stage that happens to be the entire world. And in the middle of it all, Travis still manages to act like a guy next door, stumbling into embarrassing moments and laughing about them later, while Taylor continues to weave her story into tiny symbolic details that her fans dissect with the obsession of treasure hunters. That's the thing, their romance doesn't just exist, it lives and breathes in the spaces where pop culture, sports, and pure human emotion collide. Take the bachelor party, for example. It became a question before Travis even had time to think about it. When Jason tried to press him on the podcast, you could hear the confusion in his voice, like, "Bachelor party? How do you even know one's coming?" The man hadn't thought about it for even a second. While most people would be planning tequila shots at neon lights in Vegas, Travis was too caught up in the engagement glow to bother. And honestly, who can blame him? The internet practically broke the moment he got down on one knee. He's still riding that wave, scrolling through memes of himself being roasted by official city Twitter pages, laughing at strangers calling him just a local man with a fiancé, and instead of being offended, treating it like the best compliment ever. It's pure Travis energy, embracing the chaos and enjoying every ounce of attention, even when the joke's on him. But the engagement hasn't just been about jokes and memes. It's also been about the quiet, awkward, funny human moments that make the love story feel real. Like the night he and Taylor went to Arrowhead, soaking up the energy of his old college squad, drinking what they thought was beer, only to realize halfway through the game that it was non-alcoholic. Taylor was the one who noticed, of course. Imagine being one of the greatest tight ends in the NFL and having your pop superstar fiance tap you on the shoulder mid-game like, "Hey, you know that's not real beer, right?" That's the stuff that turns legends into lovable humans. Jason will never let him live that down, and neither will the internet. Forget bachelor parties, sometimes the best stories come from sheer accident. Still, the word fiancé is something Travis can't stop saying. You can hear the giddiness in his voice every time it slips out. He introduces Taylor that way to teammates, friends, even probably to waiters at restaurants just to hear how it sounds. It's like he's a high school kid bragging about taking the head cheerleader to prom, except the whole world knows she's the biggest pop star on the planet. Every time he says it, the glow gets brighter and you can feel how surreal it still feels for him. And that's what makes the whole thing so infectious. He's not playing it cool. He's leaning into it, letting the joy show. Of course, joy eventually leads to stress, and now Travis is entering the minefield of wedding planning. The bachelor party may be a blank slate, but the seating chart has already become his personal nightmare. Forget linebackers and blitz packages, nothing compares to sit next to Aunt Carol without causing a family feud. Jason joked about whether their podcast crew would make the list, and Travis didn't even try to hide the sweat in his voice. His rule is brutal but simple. If people can't vibe at a table, they don't get invited. Better to ghost a cousin than risk a dance floor fight over the chicken entree. Savage? Yes. Smart? Maybe smarter than half the play calls he's ever made on the field? Meanwhile, Taylor is telling her side of the love story in the most Taylor way possible, through jewelry. Forget long speeches or interviews. Every bracelet, every necklace, every ring is a quiet love letter that her fans decode like scripture. When Travis proposed, he didn't just pick some diamond out of a big-name jeweler's case. He went indie, working with Kindred Lubeck of Artifacts Fine Jewelry, a small New York designer who probably woke up the next morning to find her Instagram followers had multiplied by hundreds of thousands. The ring itself sent the jewelry world into debate, some saying it's worth $750,000, others swearing it's closer to $1.5 million. But to Travis, the price doesn't matter. It's priceless because Taylor said yes. That's the way he puts it, simple and sincere, which makes the whole story feel even more authentic. And Taylor hasn't stopped there. She's always been intentional about her jewelry, especially since Travis came into the picture. Ruby heart earrings at the Super Bowl, a tennis bracelet designed with Michelle Wie West, and layerable charms that seem to whisper their own love language. Fans call it the TNT narrative. Taylor and Travis spelled out in gems, quiet but undeniable. Every new piece becomes a clue, every sparkle another chapter in the romance. It's Easter eggs wrapped in diamonds, and for her fans, it's like living inside a love story written in real time. Travis, for his part, has been giving free masterclasses on proposals. On the podcast, he told guys everywhere not to overthink it, not to copy viral stunts, but to know their person. Don't rent synchronized dolphins if your girl just wants pizza and a ring on the couch. For him, the key was keeping it simple, real, and true. A floral backdrop in the backyard, a moment that mattered because it was theirs. He laughed about it. Jason hyped him up like the proud brother he is, and everyone listening could tell he plus wasn't a rehearsed fairy tale. It was just two people making the moment fit their love. And then there's Rhode Island. Taylor's seaside palace is being renovated as if the house itself knows it's about to host the wedding of the decade. New bedroom wings, more bathrooms, a kitchen upgrade. It's practically a wedding venue disguised as a mansion. The locals might groan about celebrity weddings, but even the governor is lobbying for them to tie the knot there, sliding into their announcement with not-so-subtle nudges. This isn't just a house either, it's history. Taylor's 4th of July parties, her song The Last Great American Dynasty, and now possibly the setting for vows exchanged by the NFL's most charismatic tight end and the world's biggest pop star. The pressure of planning a bachelor party suddenly feels tiny compared to all this.